growing, and hopefully you can take game 1 and game 2 and get better game 3. What was working so well that got better, especially with the tone that you set?
I think overall as a coach you want to have carryover from the things that you're working on, and it doesn't always produce the wins when you want them to, but I thought overall we earned this win tonight because we did a lot of things that we had been working on to a high level, whether that's being locked into the game plan, I think, which we executed extremely well, and that started with that first group, to jump out with a lead like we had, to have the physicality, the shot selection, the pace. When you establish those things on the road, generally good things happen after that.
And when you have a player like Cam Thomas, I mean, you've spoken highly of him throughout his entire career, but particularly with even tonight, what are you seeing from him that is just sparking everything for this group?
Just overall, I think he's enjoying competing on both ends of the floor, and that part of it, I think he is gaining an extreme amount of trust with his teammates. We know he has the ability to score the basketball, but it's not forced. It's within the flow of our offense, which you see. And then at certain times we need him to get a bucket, then he's capable of doing that also. So he's learning how to, survey the game a little bit, when he's needed, when he's a facilitator, when he's getting to the paint for us, which he's done that at a high level also. So he's just continuing to grow as a third-year player, and I'm happy to see it.
And then 2 quick ones for me. One, how's Spencer?
Yeah, left ankle sprain. He tried to warm up at halftime and give it a go. So we'll see what it looks like tomorrow, B.
And you talked about the sooner these guys embrace the fact that they're a full court team, the better they're going to be. Is this kind of a perfect picture of that? I mean, you weren't even necessarily turning them over. You were just running off of misses.
And if we can add that layer to it, which we do want to add, as far as creating turnovers, then you're really getting out in the transition. And this was a night we only shot 33s, and so to put up that many amount of points, over 20 assists, to be able to share the basketball, to impose our will with our pace, it's definitely how we're built to play. Now, it takes an extreme amount of commitment on a nightly basis to play this way. That's why we need everybody. And tonight was a night where Lonnie comes in and has great minutes for us. Cam continues the way he's playing. And so across the board, Dennis, across the board, we're going to need every single person on this roster to give us something.
Coach, it seemed like you guys were getting to the basket pretty easily and getting easy buckets. Is that something you saw in the scouting report that you could take advantage of?
Well, I think we wanted to just establish our pace, and a lot of times, when we start the way we do, we create mismatches because of the fact that most teams run back to the paint, and we were able to spray the basketball, create closeouts. Once you create closeouts, you have an advantage, and we use that advantage to get to the rim tonight.
With Ben, I guess, setting the pace, I guess, that aspect, how important has it been for him just being this comfortable with again being second for a double-double for him? How important has he been in setting that pace that he did tonight from the jump?
Yeah, Evan, kind of what I said to Megan, I said this to him specifically at shoot-around is I saw progression from game 1 to game 2, and I'm looking forward to seeing the progression from game 2 to game 3. He definitely set the tone for us to start the basketball game. And I think his physicality, his ability to push the basketball was high level for us, getting guys open for shots. It's a joy to play that way. I think this team is built versatility-wise to play that way. We'll continue to embrace it, get better in the half court, but overall, if we can do this on a nightly basis, we'll give ourselves a chance.
And then with Lonnie, is it encouraging that someone can just slide right in like he did, pick up what Spencer was doing, get to the basket in the third quarter? Is that going to be just another sign of this team has depth, so to say?
Yeah, for sure. We end up starting Lonnie in the second half, and it just goes a long ways when you go to a guy like I did before the season and told him he was a part of the rotation, that I wasn't going to trim it to 9, that I wanted him to get a feel of who we are, how he was playing, get to know him some. And then I don't play him the first game. For him to still have the commitment to the team to, all right, the second game, let's see what coach does, and the third game to stay with us, to me that speaks to who he is, how we can build with him, and he's shown the ability that he can produce.
For Dorian Smith, it's another game where I felt like he's just like in a different zone. He's having fun. You can tell that there's some confidence. He's talking back to the bench a lot for some of the shots. When you go back to like training camp and the message that you guys gave Dorian for what you guys wanted to see from him this season, what have you seen just in these last two games that, makes you happy as a head coach to see that reflect on the court?
I think I'm seeing two things. First of all, I keep telling him he can shoot 8 threes a game, so that's the first piece of it. So offensively, I think he's been aggressive and he's using the matchups that he has to get those quality shots. The second piece of that is defensively, you see him talking and really commandeering our defense, whether he's playing a perimeter position or tonight playing the big spot. And so that is a hard task to flip and flop and be able to do both. But he has the ability to command our defense, and I give him a lot of credit for it.
Specifically with Doe, his shooting. How much of that do you think is, playing basically a stretch five with Ben, and it's 5 out? How much does that accentuate what he does, and how much of it is just, he was limited in getting the pinky sorted out, in the offseason?
Yeah, I think last year a lot of dynamics with Doe where maybe he wasn't as comfortable as he is now with us. I think I see him in a great place on both ends of the floor and just in life overall. So I think that does matter. These dudes are human, and when things happen, they got to deal with them and be able to play basketball at the same time. The looks he got tonight, really because Ben is able to get to the paint and collapse the defense. Like, those looks are golden for us, and it's because of the pace, and it's because we're touching the paint. Defenses are geared to collapse and protect the rim, so he's going to get looks, and look forward to him making a lot more of them.
So it's more of a gameplay thing, you think, than the injury?
I think
and being healthy.
I think for any player, they want to feel good about themselves, their whole body, whether it's pinky toe, shoulder, quad, all of the above. And when you feel good about your body, you play better. So the off-season thing, I think, maybe cleared his mind a little bit. At least he cleared his mind in knowing that how effective he could be for us as a player.
Closing out games has been the conversation those last two games, and when the Hornets were going on those runs to cut it into single digits, we saw you tell the guys, if you had called a timeout, it's just to settle
Yeah.
down. What was your message to the team during those moments, and what did you like about how they were able to adjust and make the adjustments that you wanted to still cut into extend the lead?
Yeah, so this is a part of me understanding this team and what's best for this team. So I was a little bit more demonstrative at that time on the sideline, and whether it's getting us into a set that we've worked on. So I think making things extremely simple for our group at the end of the game. There's a package and a menu that we can go to that we'll be very familiar with and have a comfort level with. We were able to do that tonight. You saw Mikal and Cam really be able to produce, get to the paint, make shots for us because we were more detailed in our approach at the end of the game.
Just with Mikal, what did you like offensively from him tonight?
I think overall, we ran the first play of the game for him, and I think he just established a good flow. Wasn't forced. I think overall the looks were really good at all three levels, whether it was three getting fouled on, whether it was attacking the paint, whether it was producing at the end of the game. But it was definitely more in flow for the night, for sure.
With Dayron?
Yes.
I know you guys the foul trouble.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that Nick is going to be out on Wednesday, are you seeing what you need to see from Dayron, and are you seeing him take those next steps and learning and adjusting?
For sure, this thing you grow from game to game, and so now he's got to combat a few things. Whether it is I get offensive rebound, what do I do with it? So making that judgment piece. I'm a great screener. If a guy is going to run into me and I'm going to get an offensive foul, do I release early and get on top of the rim instead? So little nuances of the game that he's learning so he doesn't get 5 fouls. You see how he can have an impact at the offensive end of the floor for us, rebound the basketball. So he'll continue to learn those things. We'll put him in those situations. He'll still get minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, guys.